Good morning, students. This is the last part of your pronoun part. So last time we were reading about the demonstrative pronouns, and we saw there how to determine demonstrative pronoun from demonstrative adjective. So here we will be dealing with interrogative pronouns. Interrogation, you know that this is something to ask. So there are the pronouns which are used to ask some questions, especially those WH words, and these are used here as pronouns, and of course to express something where you are asking from someone. See, it is written there here in the chart according to the person, subject and object, both are divided here. Who is sitting here, who is used as an interrogative pronoun, and if you were telling whom did you see, means here the person is object, a person whom you see. So that is how, in order to denote a person, whether as a subject or as an object, we use who or whom. The next place, it is thing means an object. In order to mean an object, generally we use what. What is in your hand, or what is in your pocket, that kind of thing. Then comes person or thing, both which girl or which boy has done it, and at the same time, which chocolate do you like. So in both cases, whether it is an animate or an inanimate being, we can use which. And there are one more thing, in order to denote possessive, means the ownership. Whose book is this? That's how, only to denote some person, the ownership must be of some person. Only then we can use whose. You cannot say the chair whose leg is broken, because the chair is an inanimate object here. In order to denote that kind of thing, we use a special case where you need to add of before whose, means the chair of the leg of which is broken. You cannot use whose with an inanimate object. This only goes with persons. Now examples are there, as I was telling you. You can see it there. It is written in the same way which I was telling just a minute before. Then comes relative pronouns. The name suggests it is denoting some relations. So let's see what is written there. A relative pronoun is a pronoun that introduces a relative clause. It is called a relative pronoun because it relates what I was telling you to the word that it modifies. Here also the same things are you can find there, who, whom, whose, but here instead of denoting any kind of questions, these pronouns are actually expressing some relations with one part of the subject and a particular noun with the other part of the subject, that sentence, how they are related. Let's see, as I was telling that here again the who is used as a subject and whom as an object. Same thing is written there, and let's see some examples, and that will make the whole thing clear for you. The person who phoned me last night is my teacher. See, here who denotes exactly the person, and the noun that sits exactly before that relative pronoun, we call it an antecedent. Ante means before. So who qualifies exactly the noun which is sitting left to it, that is the person. Then again the car which hit me, which means the car. Again the car here is the antecedent, and which relation. It is bridging the two sense. There is, on the one side there is car, on the other side there is hit me was yellow, means something is said about the car and the car has done something. So this part, hit me was yellow, is bridged with the main noun the car by the use of a relative pronoun which we can call it which, WHICH. Then comes person, whom I phoned last night is my teacher. So whom denotes exactly the noun or the word which is written left to it. So these relative pronoun and the main noun or pronoun which they actually qualifies, they are juxtaposed, means sit side by side. You cannot make them sit separately in a sentence. They must sit together. The car whose driver jumped out just before the accident was completely destroyed. See, whose driver means who was the driver? It is the same driver who was driving the car. So this whose driver, whose is making the relation in between the driver and the particular car which was being driven. That is why we call it relative pronoun. Next comes reciprocal pronouns. This is very funny. See, we use reciprocal pronouns when each of two or more subject is acting in the same way towards the other. Now see the example here. There are only two reciprocal pronouns, each other and one another. Often we make great mistakes, numerous mistakes, in order to use these two reciprocal pronouns. There are particular rules where you can use each other, and some other rules are there where you can use one another. Let's see how you should use these things. See, when you use these reciprocal pronouns, there must be two or more people, first of all, things or groups, whether it is inanimate or animate object or being or persons. They must be doing the same thing. Examples: John and Mary loved each other. Now see, each other means there are two persons and both are singular. So, and that is where you use each other. And the train prisoners were all blaming one another. See, here more than two persons are there, 10 prisoners. So something is being done among some people, not between some people. Whenever the action is performing between some people like John and Mary, then we are using each other. And if the action is being performed among some people, more than two persons, then we use one another. Why don't you believe each other? Since you here denotes two people. So something is being done between two people. Only two people are there. So that's where we are supposed to use each other. More than two people, it will be one another. So indefinite pronoun, that is also given there in your textbook. Definite means not certain, uncertain. The person whom you are mentioning here, or the object which you are mentioning here, that is not certain. Only then we use such type of pronouns. Here are so many use of the indefinite pronouns which we use in our regular speech and writing, and they are of two types. There, singular and plural. Singular, all the examples are written there, and also in case of plural, the examples are separately mentioned in the chart. So please try to draw the chart in your CW classwork copy and revise off and on. All, any, most, none, and some can be singular or plural. Means these denotes both singular and plural. You can also call there all that glitters are not gold, and at the same time you can call all who wander is not lost. So all denotes both singular and plural. Many indefinite pronouns also function as their parts of speech. Look at another in the following sentence. Here it is written that he has one job in the day, and another. Another means what? Another job. So without repeating the same noun, we are using another word which is being used in the absence of a noun, and that is why we can call it a pronoun. I would like another drink means here what kind of drink? Suppose you are eating, you are enjoying cold drinks, and you are telling that give me another. Means another what? Another cold drinks. So that's how it also works as an adjective, and at the same time as a pronoun. That's how we use all these things. Now, a singular pronoun takes a singular verb, and that any personal pronoun should also agree in number and gender. I told you that all is forgiven and all have a right. So the word all, that pronoun, it is used in two sense. Both the sense. One is singular sense, another is plural sense. Thank you, students. That's how And here we end the whole chapter of pronoun. I hope you have revised it and perused whatever I have sent you carefully. Keep on revising. Unless you revise it off and on, it won't stay in your memory. So that's all for here today. Let's call it a day. Goodbye.